Sweden is not quite the land before time, but for many of us living under lockdown, it's a glimpse of life as we knew it before coronavirus, and an experiment that is still unfolding. While many nations have closed borders and ordered citizens to stay at home, Sweden has another approach. Its public health strategy has focused on enlisting the public to help flatten the curve to make sure the health system isn't overwhelmed. There are measures in place, but they're not being strictly enforced. If you're over 70, you've been encouraged to stay home. People have also been asked to work from home, to go out less, and when they do, to practice social distancing. Schools have stayed open for children in kindergarten, primary school and junior high. The authorities have relied on the public to self-regulate their behaviour. And by and large, they have been. This strategy is being led by scientists, not politicians. Members of the Public Health Agency front the daily press conferences. Health experts say there hasn't been an explicit herd immunity approach, but that could be an outcome of Sweden's strategy. The government says it's prepared to take new measures if they're needed and if the experts say so.
We think this is a marathon, it's not a sprinter. So that's why we want people, for example, to be able to go out, not be locked in their homes, as long as they keep the social distancing. We think in Sweden this is the way to keep also the long-term public health.
But there has been pushback. The death toll and cases of infections in Sweden are far higher than in its Nordic neighbours, Norway, Finland and Denmark, which each had their own versions of lockdowns. A group of high-profile scientists has called on the government to intervene and take charge of how Sweden tackles the coronavirus. Critics of the relaxed approach have also pointed to the high rates of infection in elder care homes. They account for about half of the country's COVID-19 deaths. Every country is grappling with how to live with the virus. Sweden's method of relying on high levels of public trust in the authorities and fellow citizens has been suggested as a blueprint.
If we are to reach a new normal, I think in many ways Sweden represents a future model of, if we wish to get back to a society in which we don't have lockdowns, then society may need to adapt for a medium or potentially a longer period of time.
But it is too early to tell if Sweden's approach has been successful. Being the global outlier could pay off, but the nature of the pandemic means it's also a gamble. Natalie Poyhonen, The Newsmakers.